Hello and welcome to the Sunshine Corner, or at least that's what it's called right now. We might come up with a better name. If you guys can come up with something better, let me know. But this is going to basically be a safe space for those who weren't born around one, which is a lot of us. So we have our patchouli going, nice sweet atmosphere. Welcome to the Purple Room. We're gonna talk today about self-love because the very beginning of the spiritual journey and waking up and becoming a better person, whether you're just like deciding you want to be a better parent than the parents that you had, or deciding that you want to become stronger and not fall into toxic relationships anymore, or if you've decided that you want to not be afraid of your own success and move forward like financially. All of this is made possible by learning to love yourself. If your parents treated you a certain way when you were young, that's probably how you're going to treat yourself as an adult. If they shut down your emotions, you'll shut down your emotions. If they called you klutzy, you'll think that you're klutzy, you'll behave kind of klutzy. If, they told you that money is scarce, you will believe that money is scarce, and you'll kind of see it as a competition. And we'll get into money mindset another time because that is a whole thing on its own. But for right now, I want to talk about how to love yourself because it's so mega important. And honestly, people think that glow ups and self healing and things like that, and people switching their lives around, doing a complete turnaround, is really difficult. And really, it's not that difficult at all. It's hard, but it's not hard. The people that do it find the strength inside, and that's how it gets done. The only time you ever see people with muscles is if they found that strength inside first. So, but anybody can have that strength. There's nothing different between you and a billionaire, and you and a person that lives under the bridge, and you and a bodybuilder, and whatever. You can be whatever you want as long as you focus on it and put your mind to it. And that is such a more powerful statement than we think. It's a cliche, because we've all heard it our whole childhoods, but it's a cliche for a reason. So, I've created a lot of change in my life. I have turned around so many different things in my life and the way I see things. And when you change your perception, if you change your perception of the world, every single thing in your life is based off of your beliefs, your core beliefs about the world. If you believe the world to be a certain way, then it will be that certain way for you, and you will find evidence of that. Somebody else who believes something different will find evidence of something different. This is how powerful we are, and we don't even notice how powerful we are until we start to make small changes. And really, they are so small. This is why these big transformations really aren't that hard, because you build up momentum and it doesn't take that much effort. The biggest part is finding a way out. I think that the hardest part is finding a way out, because, being stuck in the whole shebang of everything, the daily stress, and not even knowing why half of the symptoms you carry every day are there, is just because we're so unaware. So anyways, starting to love yourself, you have to understand that no matter where you've been or what you've been through, what's happened to you or what you've done, both, none of that could be any different than what it was. When you start to see the bigger picture, you'll be more able to forgive. But for right now, don't focus on forgiving. Focus on taking responsibility for your actions. The things in your past that you regret, you only regret because you think that they should be different than what they were. But when you realize that there is no way they could be any different, you didn't have the information you have now. There's no way you can change it, for one. Also, two, there's no way it could have been any different. If I put you in the middle of a field of something that you don't understand at all, you're not going to fight your way out very well. But if I give you the blueprints first, you'll be able to get out no problem. The difference is the information that we have. If you did something poorly, made poor decisions before, there is some bit of information that you didn't have then that you have now that is making you judge that past version. That's not kind. It's not necessary, and we're only doing it because that's what we've been taught to do. So we don't have to do that anymore. The things that we regret, we only regret because we think they should be different, and they can't be different. There's no way they could be different. With the information that we had at the time, that is what came of it. There's no way it could be any different. So, looking at it for what it is, what can I do to make sure that never happens again? Realizing that you're safe from those types of things now. Say it was something that was really, really traumatic for you, really caused you a lot of pain. You have to, as an adult, understand first that you're no longer susceptible. You have to kind of remind your body that it's not, in danger of that happening again. Being a people pleaser, if you are terrified of confrontation, it's likely because when you brought up how you felt or what you were thinking as a child, it was met with something that frightened you, whether it was physical or mental or emotional abuse or stifling, whatever you want to call it. If your parents stifled you in that way, or your guardians stifled you in that way as a child, you'll likely be a people pleaser. And this can branch out into very different aspects of your adulthood. Like you can see this showing up at jobs and personal relationships, friend relationships, familial relationships still as an adult, even though it's not necessary. And you find out later pretty quick actually that it's depleting for you. It hurts for you. Doing things that are not good for you just because they're good for someone else or make you look good to someone else is just so self-destructive. It's so defeating. It doesn't feel good for you. And when you start to build your own self-love and love yourself, you'll start to see that exactly for what I just said it is, and you'll be like, ew, no, of course I'm not doing that. I'm tired. My body needs rest. I'm going to skip that today. Whatever it is, you'll start to do it more and more whenever you can, and you'll start to build more confidence. Because you have a right to take care of yourself. You would expect your parents to take care of themselves, and if your parents took care of themselves the way that they should have, you would have less trauma, they would have less trauma, your kids would have less trauma, you'd be not having to go through this barrier right now. So let's just stop it where it is and not send it anymore. It's just a mess. Don't send toxic traits down to your kids. And if you are aware that something you're doing is toxic to your kids and you're aware that you're doing it and you don't like it, that is huge. And that is huge, and you want to understand that. You want to be supportive, and you want to acknowledge that because it's huge. It's huge. A lot of people think constantly, oh, this is terrible, I don't like it, and then they just continue to do it for their entire lives. It seems so retarded, but that's what people do because we're programmed. We get put into mindsets and then sent into the world. And for some reason, for years, parents thought that if you hurt your kids' feelings, then they wouldn't be able to get their feelings hurt as an adult. If you bully your kids, then when another person bullies your kids when they go to school, it won't hurt them so much. Or they'll be able to handle it better, I guess. I don't know. They have this weird thing like the world is tough, so I'm gonna be tough on you before you get to the world, so that you're already damaged. You know what damage feels like, and you'll already be at the bottom, so it won't like hurt to be knocked down so much. Whoa. So we all come from that type of generation. Clearly we're gonna need some help. The only thing to do, there's nothing to regret. Regretting things is only because you think they should be different, but they can't be. If something bad happened to you, you cannot control what other people did. You cannot control still what other people do. The only thing you can do is control yourself and how you handle things. So when we're children, we are very susceptible, and we cannot, we're small. Our bodies are small. We don't have the strength. A lot of you know where I'm going. There's nothing we could have done. There is nothing we could have done. There is nothing we could have done. There's nothing we could have done. Let it go. And no, you don't have to forgive those people the way people think about forgiveness all the time. I'm about to tell you something. You want to... Blaming only distracts us from what makes us feel bad. What feels bad only feels bad because we think it should be different. But it can't be any different than what it is. Blaming only distracts us from what makes us feel bad. It feels bad that our family hurt us. So blaming them puts the energy there. We have all of that energy. We have all of that hurt. And to put that energy somewhere, we blame our parents and we go over the cycles in our head, or our family, whoever it is that hurt us. We go over the fights in our head. We go over the arguments in our head. We go over the abuse in our head. We go over the stifling in our head. And we maintain a level of anger towards that person using that anger, that energy that we have. Sorry, that's so frustrating. With that energy that we have, that hurt that we have, feeling defeated and feeling powerless feels worse than being angry. So we choose anger to put on top. That's what blame is. We choose the blame, we choose the anger, and to direct that anger at the person that hurt us. But that doesn't hurt them. It doesn't keep us safe. It doesn't help us. We have to keep moving past that. Once we get to anger, we have to make it a little bit higher up. Now we're angry. Now we're mad. There's nothing we can do about it. Fuck that person. They did that to me. That's bullshit. I didn't deserve that. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You're right. But you also don't deserve to still be holding on to it. So, fuck that person. But obviously there was something in their fucked up noggin that made them think that it was okay to do that. I know that it's not because I'm higher than them. I know that it's not okay because I know what it feels like. I know that I would never do that to somebody. I know that I would never let myself be in that situation again now that I am big. I know that my brain can keep me out of toxic situations now, and then I don't have to worry about those. Don't do that. Also, the anger feels better, so you have to take that anger into acceptance and start to accept the things that happened to you. Yes, this happened to me when I was young. Now, because that happened to me, I know what that looks like. I can recognize it elsewhere. Now, because that happens to me, I know what it feels like, and I know now that I need healing. Once you heal, then you know how to heal and you can help it where you see it. And it's everywhere. Any struggles, and you will notice this your entire life, as soon as you heal something that you've been dealing with, you will almost every single time, it's like inevitable, you will come across somebody or something that is similar to your situation that you just healed, and they're gonna need something you figured out. Every single time. Every single time. Every time I have found a way to push through a barrier I had on myself, I see somebody else who, in my family or my friend group or whatever, that needs that counseling or needs that. And then when I'm able to tell them, they benefit, I benefit, because I benefited myself. Because I took the time to heal that, now I can help. So blaming distracts us from what we feel bad about. And we only feel bad because we think it should be different. We have to understand, the more we learn and heal ourselves, the more we understand the minds of others as well and why they do the things that they do. We understand that hurt people, even if they don't mean to. If somebody is feeling inadequate and feeling like they're not good enough on the inside, that hurts. And so we change that feeling inadequate, feeling powerless, feeling not good enough. We change that to feeling angry because it feels better than feeling powerless. Being angry feels better than being powerless. So we will always go there. They always go there. We will always go there. And it's not our fault. We don't generally mean to. We don't notice. And even if we're actively trying not to, if we didn't learn to forgive ourselves for that thing first, then when we try changing that behavior, it's going to be much more difficult. It's going to seem like a struggle. It's going to seem like an uphill battle. It's going to seem like you're trying to beat an addiction, because you are. So we change bad feelings, sad feelings into angry feelings. And then we start to be mean, because like I said, that energy has to go somewhere. And if you are blaming someone else, you are putting that anger towards them. You're sending that energy out, out, out. And it's staying, it's creating more energy, more negative energy in you, but it's going out everywhere too. And when you put that energy out into the universe, that's what you're going to get back. You're going to get more things that make you feel angry, more things that you have to blame other people for, until you start to realize that you played a part in that situation, no matter how small you were. No matter how small you were. You played a part in that situation. You take responsibility for your part, and you have no responsibility to take for their part. You have to understand, hurt people always. That is just how it is. It's just how it is. If you stay hurt, you will hurt people, period. And then you are no better than the people who hurt you. So you must understand, you are lovable. You are worth being here. You're here for a reason. Once you learn things, you can be kinder. You can be, loving yourself is what is going to make it easy to work out regularly, because you're going to feel like you want to. You're not going to have to pull yourself out of the bed. You're going to want to, because you want to take care of something that you love. Building self-love is the only way to start any of this. It's the only way you're going to start eating right, because you're not going to have to force yourself to put down the sugar, force yourself to do this and pick up that and whatever. You're going to want to. You're going to be looking for the beautiful, loving things, because you're going to be experiencing more. You're going to be feeling more love. You're going to be wanting more love. And you will find more love every single time. It's what's going to make it easier for you to be kind to others, because like I said, hurt people, even if we don't mean to. If I'm feeling like I'm not good enough in a certain situation, then when somebody else has that, I'm going to be jealous. I'm going to be angry at them. I'm going to, even if I think that I'm being happy for them and I'm portraying that I'm being happy for them, I'm going to still be feeling yucky inside. And then it'll just get worse. And after years of doing that, it'll get worse and worse and worse. The more and more people I see being mad at somebody else for having something is your indicator that you want that. And it's okay to want that. But scarcity mindset has got us all in this idea that if they have it and I want it, that means they need to not have it anymore. But that's not the case. There is no scarcity. There isn't a limit of anything. There is more of things now than there ever were before. We have more currency going around than we ever did before, which is why inflation's such a bitch. But we have more of everything. And we what was I saying? Never ever bring up government. It does this to your mind every single time. If you watch the news and you keep up with the government, yes, it feels like it's necessary, but it's not. It's not. I almost guarantee the part that you're focusing on is not the part that's necessary, and it's not the part that's going to help you. Okay? That's just my opinion. Blaming distracts you from bad feelings. Bad feelings come from thinking something that should be different. And things can't be any different. You don't have to step into the mind of a killer, you know. You don't have to play the devil's advocate and excuse what they did in order to put down that anger. You just literally have to decide that that is in the past and you're not going to let it affect you anymore. Yes, it caused you to feel so horrible, but it wasn't your fault. You had no control over it. There's nothing you can do about it now. You have it now, and you know that it can make you stronger. Because like I said, when you learn how to heal it, almost every single time, God, source, creator, whatever you want to call him, or her, or them, will put somebody else, will put another child in your vicinity that needs what you have. If you learn how to heal that, you will have tougher flesh there. They will need that. Somebody will need that.